What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Fantasy Tomorrow. Today we're going to be talking about the injuries that we saw in Week 8 and the injuries that we need to watch out for in Week 9. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Let's start with the long-term injuries that we saw in Week 8. So bad news for all these guys. Hopefully they'll all get well soon. But starting off with the biggest one, Derrick Henry, running back for the Titans, has a foot injury where he had to have surgery, and he's expected to miss 6 to 10 weeks and is already on IR. He's likely done for the fantasy season. He might be able to get back for the playoffs, but really bad news. He'd been the MVP in fantasy up until now, and he's going to miss likely the rest of the season. Jeremy McNichols is going to take over in that backfield, but he's probably going to be a committee. They also brought in Adrian Peterson, so just really messy situation right now in Tennessee. Hopefully Henry gets back on the field soon. Now the next guy is Robert Tonyan, tight end for the Packers. He tore his ACL and is out for the season, so bad news if you have him. And then also Jameis Winston, quarterback for the Saints, has a torn ACL and is out for the season, which means that Taysom Hill is likely going to take over as the starting quarterback for the Saints. So that offense is going to look quite different. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Now let's move into some more minor injuries to watch, some ones that have more of a bearing on this week. Starting with quarterbacks, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys has a calf injury which caused him to miss Week 8, but he is expected to play this week. Kyler Murray of the Cardinals has a foot injury. In fact, he was wearing a walking boot after the game against the Packers in Week 8, and he'll be one to watch as we don't really know what his timetable is. Sam Darnold of the Panthers has a concussion, and he's going to need to come out of the concussion protocol in order to play. Tyrod Taylor of the Texans has a hamstring injury which has cost him quite a bit of time, but he could return from IR this week. Let's move into some running backs. First off, Christian McCaffrey of the Panthers has that hamstring injury that's been plaguing him. He's planning on practicing this week. He'll definitely be one to watch, and hopefully he'll make his return soon. Josh Jacobs of the Raiders has a chest injury. In fact, he's coming off of a bye week, so he's had some time to heal up. Now, hopefully he'll be able to get back on the field, but we'll want to watch him. Saquon Barkley of the Giants has an ankle injury. He's missed the last couple of weeks, and he is very hopeful that he'll be able to play this week. David Montgomery of the Bears has a knee injury, and he could come back off of IR this week. And same goes for Clyde Edwards-Helaire of the Kansas City Chiefs. He has that knee injury too, which he is hopeful that he'll be able to come back of IR this week as well. James Robinson of the Jaguars has a heel injury, and it's reportedly not serious, so he's day-to-day, definitely going to be one to watch. Elijah Mitchell of the San Francisco 49ers suffered a rib injury and is likely going to be limited in practice this week, so definitely want to watch that. Moving into some wide receivers, Davante Adams of the Packers missed Week 8 due to having COVID and will need to come off of the COVID list this week in order to play in Week 9. Deebo Samuel of the 49ers has a calf injury and is likely going to also be limited in practice this week. Kenny Golladay of the Giants has a knee injury which caused him to miss Week 8, and he's going to need to practice in order to return. And same goes for Shepard, who actually played in Week 8, but he suffered a quad injury, and it's kind of concerning since he was already dealing with some other lower body injuries, a hamstring I believe it was. So hopefully he'll be able to get back and get right and get back on the field. Now, moving on to the New York Jets, Corey Davis has a hip injury which caused him to miss Week 8. And he's apparently going to have a chance to play this week, so definitely one to keep an eye on. And our final receiver is Michael Thomas of the Saints, who is still dealing with that ankle injury, which has kept him on the PUP list to start the season. Hopefully he could return this week, but it might be a bit of a long shot. Let's move on to some tight ends. First off, Darren Waller of the Raiders, dealing with an ankle injury which caused him to miss Week 7 a few weeks ago. And he's coming off of a bye week, so he's had some time to rest, but we'll definitely want to keep an eye on him. Dawson Knox of the Buffalo Bills has a hand injury and is day-to-day apparently, which means that he could have a chance to return this week. George Kittle of the 49ers has a calf injury. He could actually return off of IR this week, so we'll want to watch him. And then one final thing that's not necessarily injury-related, but is very important. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, is stepping away from football due to personal reasons and for caring for his own mental health, which is really important. Hopefully he'll get to feeling better soon, get into a good place, and be able to return back to the field where he is just amazing. But there is no timeline for when he'll return, so definitely one to kind of keep our eyes on, but hopefully Ridley gets to feeling better. Alright guys, here's a review of all these injuries. I know it was a lot, but you can definitely use this to kind of keep track of things as the week progresses so that you don't mess anything up in setting your lineups for this week. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, drop us a like and a comment, and also check out our Twitter and our Facebook. Go interact with us over there. We really appreciate it. We love hearing from you guys. Also, check out our other channel, Pretty Smart Sports, where we're talking about all sorts of different sports stuff. But again, guys, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.